We had an exclusive conversation with Prabha Narasimhan as she completed 1 year at the helm of Colgate-Palmolive India. Mangalam dropped by in their office to discuss the year gone by and the plans ahead in our special series, The Weekender. Take a look, we'll come back.
If you talk to urban consumers and you ask them how many times a day should you brush, the answer is usually 2. Yeah, so everybody knows it.
Yes.
It's a belief that exists. However, I don't think there is clarity on the so what of not doing it.
Okay.
And I think, therefore, just a little bit of nudge in that direction would help. From a rural consumer's perspective, they have a substitute, which is the use of datun or, neem sticks or any of those other things. And I think it's really our job to convince them in terms of why using a toothpaste and a toothbrush is really better for your oral health, and that's really the work that we're doing. Lots of inciting work that's happening, which I'm unfortunately not at liberty to share, but there are reasons and we will find them.
I've come down to your office. You have to share a little more than what you are at liberty to. If you could, just for the benefit of our viewers, break down your revenue in terms of how much you get from oral care. In oral care, how much do you get from toothpaste and how much is toothbrushes? And the Palmolive part of it, if you could break that down for us.
So the bulk of our business is toothpaste, and we tend not to share exact figures, but really the bulk of our business is toothpaste. We have a very, very strong toothbrush business where we are actually the market leaders in toothbrush as well. And we have, to be honest, a tiny Palmolive business, a business that I would really love to make bigger, and it is one of our key priorities. And that becomes really the 4th pillar of our strategy that I'm sure you've heard many times.
So let's revise those 4 pillars. One is holding your market share, growing it. Secondly, increased use cases in the rural areas and the urban areas as well. The third case is premiumization, where people are buying better toothpaste, better toothbrushes, and buying it a lot more frequently. And the 4th one is Palmolive. That's correct, right?
Yeah, you could do my job, Mangalam.
I would love to. I was just kidding. But the last 10 years, sales CAGR for Colgate has been just 5%. How do you plan to structurally change that?
You're absolutely right that over the last decade or so, the performance of the company has been, in the 4-5% CAGR. Lots of things that have happened. There was an entire wave of naturals that came. We are seeing that wave plateau, and the naturals segment, if you want to call it a segment, also plateauing. And we think that there's a real opportunity for Colgate to double down on what Colgate is good at, which is really this whole idea of strong science built into each of our products, which deliver really good efficacy.
Versus what was happening in the company before you came and going forward, how much of that will be more of the same and how much of that will be new?
I think a lot of it is really on a continuum, because these are businesses, like I said, this is our 86th year in the country, and the foundation that we've been given today has been rock solid. So it is on a continuum. What we want to turbocharge, though, is the speed of executing some of these things. So Smile Stores is one of them. We also have a similar AI technology for merchandising, which takes a photograph of the shelf and then tells you, share of shelf, right level of planogramming, what's the secondary asset, what's the placement, and all of that's done real time. So the speed is what we're trying to move. Similarly, we're trying to move speed in terms of adopting digitization in the business process. So we've adopted a machine learning forecasting tool to help us, generate numbers for forward quarters. We're working on a project to digitize the end-to-end supply chain. So it's just the question of us saying, this is something that we get to do. It's great. There's so much tech out there. There are so many partners out there. And can we do it faster? That's really the idea, rather than saying, are we going to be fundamentally different?
So let's talk cricket, because I know you're a big cricket fan, and use that analogy on Colgate as well. A common grouse that a lot of people on the street have with Colgate is, assume this is a T20 match. At the 12th over, both your opening batsmen are still on the pitch, and they've made about 120 odd runs. The problem is they're still taking singles. They're not hitting sixes as one would like them to do in a game.
So I think, if I may modify your analogy just a little bit, I think business and life is more of a test match than it is a T20 game. And it is really about us saying that, are we getting better with every passing day than we were the previous day? And therefore, are we moving forward? Because I would love an organization that gets steadily better continuously, rather than an organization that does these, I have one over where I'm able to score 25 runs and the next over is a 2-run over. That, I think, to me,
I'm sure there are a few bowlers that you would like to target and just get more than 8-10 runs, even if it's a test match.
Absolutely. And therefore, steadily getting better, where your win percentages get better and better, is really the organization that we would like to build, because, of course, we want to be here 86 years later as well. So that's kind of more our thinking and our analogy, rather than can we do something that is, if I may, flash in the pan.
So tell me the bowlers that you're targeting.
So I think we have a significant opportunity across the board. We're really lucky in that the first word in oral care in this country, as in many other countries, is Colgate. And therefore, we have a platform on which we can target pretty much anything that we want to target. And our focus is to make sure that in every segment of relevance to consumers where we believe we have a right to win, we will have an offering there, and that offering becomes a legitimate. So the people who have comparable offerings become then a legitimate target for us to take on.
Let's talk about your margins now. They're the highest in the industry by far, between 29 to 32% over the last many years. Even if they were to go down by 300 to 400 basis points, they will still be the highest in the industry. So how about taking some of the EBITDA margins and using that to invest in growth?
What the margins indicate is that this is a really strong brand that has pricing power in the market because of the quality that it delivers to consumers. So it's not something that we're feeling, oh my God, we have these kind of margins. On to your comment, which I think is underlying, do we adequately fund our growth? I think the answer to that is an unequivocal yes. Everything that we see as an opportunity, we are fully funding. And as we see more opportunities, we are committed to funding those as well. Because really the single agenda for this company is for us to drive top line growth. This is a fabulously exciting market. We have significant consumption headroom. We are the market leaders, and the first word in oral care or the last word in oral care, as the case may be. And we have, like you said, the P&L to support growth. So really, growth is our primary motivator, and we will not be found wanting in funding it.
And the market share, it seems to have stabilized after a big decline that we saw over the last many years. Do you have plans to, claw back to those historical levels?
And we want to deliver competitive ahead of market growth, and which we hope will start reflecting more consistently in the market shares that we deliver as well.
Okay. Inorganic opportunities. You have said multiple times that's high on your list of priorities. How close are we to any formidable announcement here? Just wanted to understand that.
So we're in conversation with a lot of people. We're always in the lookout for organic opportunities, and as and when something is at fruition point, we will certainly come back to you.
That's the standard stock market answer.
And that
now, give me a more candid answer in the sense that, okay, you're not marrying that person yet, but there is courtship.
At this moment, there are a lot of exciting options. There's a lot happening in the market. There are a lot of exciting options out there. Let me leave it at that.
Well, that's Colgate, and Mangalam using the examples from the dating world to get an answer out of Prabha Narasimhan. We'll try and get we'll play out more of this, but very interesting chat with the CEO and MD at Colgate-Palmolive coming up all day through here on CNBC-TV18.